Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my third video in a review series that I am doing on Build Your Library Level 0, an Around the World Study. And it's written by Emily Cook. Now, this is a Charlotte Mason inspired kindergarten level program. However, I am doing this with my second grader and my kindergartner, and my second grader is absolutely loving it and getting a ton out of it. So don't limit yourself just to kindergarten. If you are new to my channel and this is the first video you are watching and you want to learn all about Build Your Library Level 0 from the beginning, I think it's on the site. I will list the playlist for this because this is the third video. I discussed our study of North America in my first video, and in the second video I talked about studying South America. This video is going to be specifically reviewing the European unit portion of it. It is a 5-week unit that she covers a bunch of different countries to include Norway, Sweden, Denmark, the British Isles and Ireland. You've got France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece, Romania, Hungary, Croatia, Poland, and all those other countries in that area. So she covers a lot in 5 weeks. So if you are new and you want to start from the beginning, definitely pause here, go up to that playlist, start at the first video, and we'll see you back here. Now, if you've already watched my first two videos, let's roll on and talk about Europe through Build Your Library. Now, first off, if you've seen the first two videos, you know that I like to highlight one of the spines that Emily Cook recommends using throughout the entire program. And today's spine for this video is actually a consumable spine. So if you are doing this with more than one child, I recommend you getting one of these books per child. And the spine is Gold Stars World Atlas for Kids, Facts and Activity Book. I will tell you right off the bat, this is a huge favorite of my kids. Whenever I say, hey, it's time to get out the activity book, their eyes widen and they light up and they're like, yay, what are we gonna do today? I think the reason they like it is very engaging. It is colorful. It has fun activities to do in the book and outside of the book. Here is an example of one that we did outside. This was how to make a hurricane in a jar. There was one that we were doing for, I think it was Niagara Falls. We were learning about rainbows because Niagara Falls creates rainbows with the moisture in the air. So it told us how to like refract the light through a glass of water and then show the rainbow on a piece of paper. That was really cool. There's also activities inside the book. For example, here's one we painted a cave drawing after learning about them. This was specifically about a cave in Spain. So this is one we did for Europe. And then on top of it, I think it's really helping to hone and ingrain their map skills because it also too breaks out all of the it's an atlas. It breaks out the maps for the kiddos of different regions. It has a key here. So they're learning how to read maps. There's lots of great information in here about different countries and different places all over the world. It is very engaging and they are absolutely loving it. Theoretically, do I think you could get away with just using one per family of these books and not getting each child one? Yes, I think you could make it work. However, I got this off Amazon. I'll link it down below. And I think it was maybe $6. I think it's worth spending that little bit of money if you can in your budget to do this for the kids because they like it. It's their little keepsake they get to keep also when you're done with your around the world adventure. Next up, I like to highlight a spine that I added to the program. We are a Charlotte Mason friendly family, and we love books, we love picture books, literature, all of the above. So I had to, of course, add in a few of my own spines that I enjoy and I think complement the curriculum really well. And today's spine that I'm going to highlight is the Atlas of Animal Adventures. My girls love books from this series. It's the Wide Eyed publishers. We own one other one of this, and there's a few others that I would like to get too. But they like these books. One, they're huge. Look at the size of this next to my head. But the other reason they love them is because the illustrations are absolutely beautiful. On top of that, they have a lot of great tidbits and information about different places, but specifically, as I said, it's animal adventures, atlas style. So it's geography focused, but it's learning about different animals in different parts of the world. And oh, here's just like, it's showing you the continent before it's going to show you the animals. So it's broken out per region. That's how it's organized. See, here's about caribou in Canada. But if you look closely between the pictures, there's little factoids that you can read. So we just lay this out on the table. The girls look at it. My oldest, who is a pretty decent reader, will be like, hey, can we talk about this fact? Or, hey, mommy, do you know this about the caribou? And I'll look around the sheet and see if it mentions that anywhere. Here's like South America, learning about orcas. There's so much good stuff in here, and it's one that my kids will definitely pull off the shelves when we're not doing the curriculum. So we'll be keeping this after we're done with this curriculum, just for them to read whenever they feel like it. So it complements also Build Your Library Level 0 really well, because this curriculum, as part of its science component, it is doing animal studies, and specifically animals within the different regions and ecosystems on the planet that they live in. So this is a really good complement to the animal study portion of the curriculum. And at the end of every continent, once you finish up studying a continent, you do an animal profile page as kind of a mini research project. And so this helps expose them to other animals that are located in the region that you're learning about. So next I wanted to talk about the literature we read across the 5 weeks we learned about Europe. It is a Charlotte Mason inspired program. So of course there is additional literature that complements the studying, and Emily Cook likes to add in chapter books as well as a mixture of picture books. She understands this is geared towards a younger age demographic, being that it's a kindergarten level program, and I think that she's done a good job with her literature selections, and we enjoyed all of the books that she picked for Europe. Now, I had purchased 2 of them, and then 2 of them I got from the library. If it was one of the library ones, I'll put a picture of it here so you can see what the book looked like. Now, the first book that we read, and it was one that we read over a period of time, over the couple of weeks that we learned about Europe, because it is a chapter book, is called The Children of Noisy Village by Astrid Lindgren. And this is the same author who wrote Pippi Longstocking. My girls loved this book. It's a very simple, fun, sweet read. It's got a few rudimentary illustrations in here too, to wet the whistle of any students that like pictures to go along with their stories. The chapters are very short and sweet, only a few pages, so it's easy to hold the child's attention. And it's about kiddos that live in this village. And I think it's set in Sweden. And so obviously perfect for our European continent study, learning about kids in Sweden. And I think the reason my kids liked it so much is because it's about kids and they can relate to kids. They're like, I'm a kid, I know kids. I can put myself in these kids' shoes. So we learn all about what it's like to grow up in Sweden, essentially. Different traditions they have, what it's like to, live in this little rural village out there, what their family dynamics are like. It's just so fun, and my kids loved it. They got so excited when I was like, hey, it's time to read Noisy Village. And they're like, all right, we're sitting down, we're ready. So big hit, highly recommend. Even if you don't do this program, if you've got, young elementary students, read them this book. It's super easy. It was a fun read for me too. It didn't hurt my brain or my mouth to read the words out loud, if you know what I'm talking about. If you do a lot of read alouds, you know what that meant. So big 2 thumbs up for this book. The second book that we loved, and this was a picture book, and it's a part of a greater series, which my kiddos are like, hey, can we look at some of the other books, is called Katie in London. I think it's part of another series where it's Katie in other locations on the planet. So it's a geography focused picture book series, and it's so sweet. The illustrations are beautiful, and it's about this little girl, Katie here, who is visiting London, and I think it's with her brother and their grandmother, and their grandmother is like, oh, you know what, I'm so tired, I just need to take a little snooze on this park bench here. And I think they stop in front of Buckingham Palace, Trafalgar Square, and there's these little lion statues, not little, they're pretty big, and the kids, go on this magical adventure with this lion who, once she falls asleep, comes to life and is like, hey kiddos, want me to show you around London? See, there they are on his back. And it's such a fun book. And they take you around to the Tower of Terror. You go over the Tower Bridge. You go up into the London Eye. Here we go, looking over Parliament and Big Ben and all that good stuff. So kids absolutely love this. One, it had this little magical aspect to it with the lion coming to life, but it also kind of showed them all about London, and it kind of took them on a mini tour of it. And they got, you know, a good feel for what London is like. So 2 thumbs up also for this. They asked if we could get some more of the books in the series, so that will probably be happening soon in our household. Next up, the book that I want to talk about was actually a perfect book for us to read because it connected another part of our curriculum that doesn't have anything to do with Build Your Library, is Linnea in Monet's Garden. We are learning about Claude Monet as our artist and picture study that we're doing as part of our Ambleside Online curriculum that we're doing. And it was just this perfect, you know, science of relations, connecting the dots from one thing that we're learning about in another part of our curriculum to this. And it's all about this little girl who loves Claude Monet's paintings, and she wants to go to France and visit his home and sees, you know, where he painted the lily pads. And it's this sweet little narration, storytelling of this girl who, again, is a child, so my kids related really well to her, going and learning about her favorite artist. And so they got to learn about Claude Monet's life and how he painted and his impressionism, and it was just a huge hit, and it really came at a perfect time considering we were learning all about Claude Monet. So that was just like a double thumbs up that it connected our 2 curriculums together. And the last book I was going to talk about is actually by one of my favorite authors. I grew up with these books by Jan Brett, The Mitten. We have quite a few of Jan Brett's books. I don't know why we don't own this one specifically, but it's set in a Scandinavian country. It's about this little boy whose grandmother is knitting him mittens, and he's like, oh, please, can I have white ones? And she's like, oh, you're gonna lose it in the snow and you're not gonna be able to find it. He's like, no, I promise. Sure enough, he loses one of his mittens. All these animals come in and stretch it out, and it's just this cute little story. But the girls loved it. It was a really big hit. I don't know why we don't own it. I'm probably gonna go buy it, find it somewhere on thriftbooks.com or something. But again, another thumbs up. Nice, sweet picture book to bring in and tie in the Scandinavian countries learning about Europe. Next, talking about arts and crafts and little activities that we did. I don't know why I can't find any of the crafts that we did, but specifically one that I wanted to highlight was we did paper mache and made masks after learning about the Colosseum in Rome. You know, there were like the drama masks that go, like have the big frowny face and the big smiley face. That was really scary. Sorry, guys. But it had, oh gosh, the girls had so much fun, not only learning about the Colosseum. It didn't go so much into the, you know, the gruesome side of the Colosseum, but more about the theatrical side of it. So they had a lot of fun learning about that. They had a lot of fun making the masks because that was our first time doing paper mache, and I literally was like, oh my gosh, I never want to do this again. My kitchen is a mess. But at the same point, the girls were having so much fun, and I was like, maybe we'll do it one more time. So it was a lot of fun. Very messy, be prepared. But then they had these cute little masks. They were running around with them. I don't think they lasted because they used them so much. They like kind of fell apart after a while. But that was a fun activity and kind of brought to life the whole Colosseum. They acted out a little play and all that good stuff. Something else we did a lot of this unit was we did a lot of cooking, and for some reason my kids didn't like any of the meals. I don't understand it either because like I thought these were going to be solid winners. The first one we did was Swedish meatballs. Who doesn't love Swedish meatballs? Because the girls like regular meatballs and it's not that different. Maybe it was the sauce, I don't know, but they weren't fans, but they did try it. And then the other one that I thought was going to be a surefire win based out of Germany, and I'm going to show you the name of this because I'm going to butcher it. It was Apfelpfannkuchen. It's basically apple pancakes. Pancakes with apples like baked into them. The only thing that's different that they don't do is they top it with whipped cream and applesauce, not syrup. So it's not as sweet as maple syrup. So maybe that's where we went wrong with it. However, we did discover that making homemade whipped cream is literally the easiest thing in the world, and it's obviously much healthier for you. So the good thing that came out of this is that we discovered we love homemade whipped cream, so now I make it all the time when I make my normal pancakes, but I just don't know why they didn't like them. I thought they were delicious. I don't know. But we did have a lot of fun in the kitchen. Although they didn't like the meals, it was fun because they were getting to cook with me. We were obviously doing measurements and they were learning how to follow instructions, and it was just fun, good family time. They did learn that it's important to try different things. They've expanded their horizons and tasted different things that they normally wouldn't. So it's been a wonderful experience with the cooking. However, we have absolutely figured out they have a specific taste profile that they like to stay within. They try things outside of it, but then they're like, don't like that, I'm going back over here. I like this stuff. So at least they're trying new things, and that's all I could ask for at their ages. And last but not least, I was gonna highlight my youngest daughter's animal profile page that she did for this continent, for Europe. I can't find my oldest. I don't know what she did with it. Sometimes she puts things in her desk in a room and then they're gone into the abyss. But my youngest daughter decided to do her animal profile on Arctic foxes. She loves them, so does my oldest. At our local zoo, there is an Arctic fox there that is so sweet and cute to look at, and they love going and seeing it as soon as we get to the zoo. But if you're not familiar with Build Your Library or haven't seen any other of my videos, these animal profiles, each student does one per continent that you learn about. Over the time that you're learning about the continent, you're being exposed to different animals that live there, what the habitat's like, the ecosystem. And so what you do at the last week of learning about that continent, you'll review with the kiddos, okay, so which animal do you want to learn and deep dive into? It's like a research paper. It's kind of a gentle exposure to doing research, essentially. And so we will use books. We have a lot of resource books about animals in our home, as well as we will use the internet, of course, and we will learn all about them in this little paper that they have included in the curriculum. You print off one page per each kid, and they talk about, they draw a picture of it. What does it eat? What are its predators? Where does it live? And then you print off a picture of it when it's a baby. What does it look like? And then they shade in where on the planet this animal will live. And so it's a really good introduction to honing research skills. Okay, officially last but not least, what we do to close out learning about whatever continent we're learning about is we fill out our passports that we made. So these two are my daughters, and then I have one too. She includes in the curriculum a printout that you can use, and it's this whole thing. I was a little extra and I found this off of, I can't even remember the website, y'all, I'm so sorry, but I found it somewhere, and I think I actually downsized it and I tweaked it. So even if I could link it, it wouldn't look exactly like this, but I found this guy. And then on the inside, we put our pictures that we took, our name, don't mind my picture, that looks terrible, address and phone number. Didn't fill that in because we're showing it on the internet. And then whenever we finish continent, the girls then print off these little stickers. It's a piece of paper they color it in, and then they cut it out and then glue stick it into here. It's like a passport stamp is what it's supposed to be, but it's just like, for Europe. And then this is my oldest passport. She likes to write about what she learned, some of her favorite things or whatever. For her, it always includes an animal. And for this one, she said, my favorite animal is the Arctic fox. My kids love the Arctic fox, y'all. And then she said, I love Europe because I love France, because the Eiffel Tower is so pretty. And then she drew the French flag. And then my youngest, she can't write quite yet, not like a lot, at least. Like she can write a few rudimentary words, but like not a full sentence. She likes to draw pictures. And for some reason, she also too drew the French flag, and then that's her Eiffel Tower. But it sparks a conversation about what did we learn? What was our favorite thing? So even though she didn't write it in here, it was a good conversation starter. And then they'll have this cute little passport keepsake for when we are done studying this entire year, which I think that'll be cute to be able to look back on. I can put it in their little homeschool portfolios. Not that we really need that for anything, just for us, for keepsakes to look back on. Well, if you guys found this video fun, informative, or just entertaining, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel and you want to learn more about homeschooling, curriculums, homeschooling life, we specifically lean more towards a Charlotte Mason style of homeschooling. So if that's of interest to you, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I post a new video. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, y'all.